Your mother doesn't need to change. And you waiting for that to happen, probably keeping you stuck. If you have a mother wound and you're waiting on your mom to apologize, acknowledge what happened, and change, you're slowing down your own healing. I'm Brittany Scott, a licensed therapist that specializes in mother-daughter relationships, and I'm going to walk you through the steps to heal your mother wound without expecting her to change. The mother wound is the emotional and psychological impact of a strained or disconnected mother-daughter relationship. It's an attachment trauma, meaning there was a disruption in how you were emotionally able to connect to your mom and feel supported by her in your developmental years. No two mother wounds look the same. Some come from moms who were overtly abusive or neglectful, meaning they did it on purpose. And some come from moms who didn't overtly abuse their daughters, but a lot of the good stuff was missing, meaning emotional support, showing love, showing trust, showing up for her. These things were missing. Through years of working with clients, I have found that most mother wounds show up because emotional support was missing. One of the issues with emotional support is what happens when the mom doesn't have her own support system. She gets it from the next best person, her daughter. When a daughter becomes an emotional caretaker for her mom, one, she's not getting the support that she needs because she's giving it, and she's carrying a heavy burden that should never be placed on a child. Before we get into how, I want to explain why I believe healing the mother wound is so important. First, you're breaking generational patterns. By doing this, you're not just transforming your own life, you're changing what gets passed down for the next generation. Next, you're reclaiming your authentic self. The mother wound teaches us to hide parts of ourselves, to prioritize everyone else's needs above our own, and to doubt our own perceptions. Healing lets you reclaim the voice that you lost along the way. Next, you'll be creating healthier relationships. The relationship patterns that we learn in childhood also repeat into adulthood. When you heal your mother wound, you naturally start attracting and maintaining healthier connections and having better and more joyful relationships. And last, you're developing self-trust. One of the biggest losses of the mother wound is disconnection from your inner wisdom, your intuition. Healing restores your ability to trust yourself, your feelings, your perceptions, and your decision. In my Break the Cycle workbook, you map out exactly how these patterns show up in your specific matrilineal line and figure out what you're actually trying to change, because you can't break cycles that you can't see. Now let's get into healing your mother wound. The first thing you're going to stop doing is saying other people had it worse. You don't care, I don't care, we don't care, it really doesn't matter. Stop comparing your trauma to their trauma. Stop comparing your pain or your hurt to theirs. If you're hurt, you're hurt. I don't care who's hurt worse, so you shouldn't care either. Start acknowledging what you went through and what you experienced and how it affected you. Also, maybe your mom did do her best with what she had. Great, we're happy for her, wonderful, but that wasn't enough for you. Something still hurt, and so I want you to take the time to acknowledge that and not try and brush it to the side. Here's your action step, if you're willing to go there with me. I want you to write a letter to your younger self, but not just an open, random letter to her. I want you to validate her experience. Think about you at a very specific age and write to her, not just your younger self in general. Think about 8-year-old you or 15-year-old you. Tell her that you know what she went through. Validate it and what she needed that she didn't get. Validate the experiences that she had and how it left her feeling. And then let her know that from here on out, you got her. You're not waiting on your mom because you're going to do it for her. Healing without your mom requires reconnecting to that little girl that was hurt and is probably still hurting today. So after you write this letter to her, I really want you to focus on connecting with that little girl, whatever age you chose. If you have a picture of her, I want you to pull it out. Hopefully you have something. So if you have a picture of her, I want you to get the picture. Healing without your mom really requires connecting back with your inner child, that little girl in you that is still hurting and needed things that she didn't get. This can feel weird and awkward because she's not actually here. She's inside of you, but you're carrying her. So just go there with me, okay? Your inner child probably still needs what all children need: safety, acceptance, love, validation, and guidance. These are things you may never get from your mom because she also probably didn't get that from her mom. So I want you to now write out how you're going to give her those things. Basically, how are you going to give yourself those things? What you missed as a child, you now get to do. I want you to write out how you're going to give yourself acceptance. What does accepting who you are look like? Love, validation, guidance, safety, I want you to figure out how you actually give those things to yourself without needing them to come from your mom. Next, I want you to identify what you need. That question could sometimes be hard because there's so many aspects of life. It's like, what do you mean? What do I need? In what area? So I want you to think about these categories in your friendships and platonic relationships, in your romantic relationships, when it comes to work and your career, and just in your everyday life. So for example, in your friendships and platonic relationships, how do you need people to show up for you? How do you desire for people to talk to you? What makes you actually feel safe and comfortable, even if it's a hard conversation? In your romantic relationships, same thing. How do you want to be taken care of? How do you want to be cared for? How do you want to be spoken to? How do you want this person to show up for you? How will you feel loved? Write those things down. Those are all things that you need. When it comes to work in your career, what do you need? What's going to help you not burn out? What boundaries do you need to set around time? Or how you show up? Are you in the office? Are you at home? Is it a hybrid situation? Like, what do you need when it comes to your career? What's going to make it feel joyful? What's going to make you love the work that you do? And when it comes to your everyday life, what do you need? Maybe it's your space at home. You need it to feel calming and relaxing. And when you come home, you need to feel like you can just unwind. That means you need to declutter. Stop bringing home so many things and keep your space peaceful. So that's the next step in healing your mother wound. You've got to be able to define what you need, and then you need your life to be able to give it to you. So how do you ask for it from friends? How do you make sure that romantic partners know what you want and what you need and how they need to speak to you and how they need to care for you and support you? Like, what does your voice sound like? How do you ask for these things? And if you don't know what you need, then that means you're not actually asking for these things. And so your needs probably aren't being met inside of your relationships. It's time for you to change that. And if you're a mom yourself, I want to talk to you for a second. Part of healing your mother wound is deciding what kind of mom you want to be and learning everything you can to become her. It's not going to be enough for you to say you'll do the opposite of your mom or you won't become your mom. Your brain is going to resort back to what it knows, and what it knows about motherhood is how you were mothered. You're going to have to be very intentional in who you want to be, how you want to show up for your own child or children, and what that's going to look like. What are the steps you're going to take, and what are you specifically going to change? There may be disappointments along the way of realizing you can show up for your children in this way, but your mother couldn't do it for you. But don't stop there. Even when that comes up, keep working through it. Prove to yourself that motherhood can be different and look different, and then give that to yourself and to your children. Your children are going to tell a different story because you're going to create a different story for them. Next, you're going to focus on creating and enforcing healthy boundaries that keep you safe. If you have a mother wound, you likely learned that your needs didn't really matter, and so they were ignored. And you never learned how to set a boundary or what it feels like for somebody to respect yours. A lot of people hear the word boundaries and think, I just need to learn how to say no. And please know that that is a very small part of boundaries. Boundaries are healthy limits that allow for genuine connection and healthy relationships with other people. Boundaries are about good relationships. They're not about saying no, and they're not about keeping people out. So when you're thinking about a boundary, I want you to start small. Identify one area where you need a boundary and then work to create it. So for example, maybe it's saying no to additional commitments. What would the wording around that sound like? How will you say no? So I want you to start small. I want you to identify one area where you need a boundary. Something like saying no to extra commitments because you have too much on your plate already. Needing alone time and figuring out how to set that up and create boundaries around your day or around your schedule to actually build in that alone time. Needing to actually go to bed on time because you're really tired in the morning and throughout the day. So you set a boundary with yourself around screen time, or needing somebody to speak to differently because when conflict arises and you have to have a discussion, how they're speaking to you makes you feel unsafe or makes you want to run or just makes you want to leave the conversation. So what do you need in order to have that conversation and finish it out? What is the boundary that's going to keep you safe? Now, there are 3 lanes to healing the mother wound. You're going to reconnect your relationship with your mom. You are going to be completely estranged, no contact, and you're going to have to heal from that grief and create tight boundaries. Or you're going to stay in the relationship, even though it's not as healthy as you would like it to be, but you're going to learn how to create healthy boundaries and enforce them in the way that you need to. That way you can remain in a relationship with your mom, but not continue to be hurt by her. And option number 3 might be chosen because going no contact is too hard, or If you go no contact with your mom, you might lose more of your family members, and you're sticking around because you want access to the rest of the family. Which lane you pick is all dependent on what your relationship looks like with your mom, what you need from it, and how you want to heal your own mother wound. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, stick around. I've got more for you on mother-daughter relationships and healing mother wounds.